against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Undoubtedly, the one you call Jesus Christ was a black man. He was melanated. He had hair like wool. He had a deep voice. He was dark-skinned. He wasn't only just a black man. He was a dark-skinned man. He wasn't brown. He wasn't light-skinned. No, Christ was dark. We're talking about Wesley Snipes, dark. So let's make that clear. That's how he's described biblically. I don't know who this character is that they put up, but clearly the Most High God ain't happy with it. What my man Sizzler say? We serve no white God. I'm sorry, he's not white. Christians, I know that you have a hard time accepting this. You have a hard time understanding that Christ is the same image as your sons, as your uncles, as your father, as your grandfather, as the man that you dealt with. Yeah, he came in that same image. His lineage and bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He comes through the lineage of David. He was a black man, all right? There's no doubt about it. In some extra biblical text, on record, on file, it even goes into race attributing to his crucifixion. because of the things he was bringing to the world. They even say his race contributed to his crucifixion. Now, let's make that clear. And if you have a problem with that, if you have an issue with that, so be it. But make this clear. Regardless of what your nationality is, your color, kindred, or creed, if you choose not to remember Christ as the scriptures have said, that's on you. You have to take that up with the Lord. But you see how the Lord is dealing with false idols.
Are you children of Israel? We are the biblical Israelites. Let's shine our light on this entire world and let them know that we're not standing for these 2/3 and their evil intentions for us. And we're not falling for the tricks and the charades. It's time that we rise up, honor the law, statutes, and commandments written of in that Bible, and stay on the right direction.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, we got the best intro on YouTube. What's happening, everybody? I see y'all rolling in the chat. Wanda Austin in the building. NECA, Tone. Hey, Regina Michelle's in the building. Night Guy, salute. Hey, I'm glad y'all catching another broadcast. Welcome in all the new viewers. You're in for a real expose here. So there's a lot going on in the news. Donald Trump, for those who have been around, y'all know that I have my critiques on our current U.S. president. And typically my critiques are very accurate, very accurate. And the things that I bring forth here on this platform really point to what's happening prophetically. You know, because this is a Bible-based channel, and we also analyze politics. Now, I got to go into it, y'all. I got to go into it because we are at day 17 of the shutdown, government shutdown. And just recently, Trump said he ain't going to heaven, y'all. He said he ain't going to heaven. I want y'all to hear it out of the horse's mouth.
A couple of weeks ago, you were doing an interview and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, you know, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people. And you know, as an example, had the election of 2020 not been rigged, you would have millions of people living just in Russia, Ukraine alone. That would have never happened, and it didn't happen for 4 years.
You had talked a couple.
Now, Trump said he don't believe he's going to make heaven. And I agree. I believe the demon's going to hell. That's what I believe personally. Now, before, you know, the strong right, conservatives get upset. Let me be very clear about this. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm anti-establishment at this point. Anybody who has no comprehensive plan for Black people, the foundation of America. Anybody who doesn't have a comprehensive plan for us, you know, hey, the hell with them. Now, Trump says he don't believe he's going to make heaven. And I agree. I agree. See, the position of power Trump has and the fact that he's not lifting God's people up, no plan for us. In fact, he's doing a total opposite. He's engaging us. He's sending military our direction. He is going on with the false narratives that we're the biggest criminals in the world, and that's a lie. So he knows what he's doing. He knows who he works for. He knows who he works for. He knows that he's a part of the Antichrist system. You know, he knows that he's part of bringing in the AI beast technology system as well. Him alongside Elon Musk. You know, they are bringing in the artificial intelligence beast system. It's going to be like Terminator out here. That's why he spent all that money on AI. The AI is going to end up taking over because Trump, he the one signed those executive orders to make sure that happens and get rid of people's jobs, get rid of people's SNAP benefits, get rid of people in general. Just get rid of them. That's what he's been doing. He's been on a whole conquest. So you heard what he said, and I agree. Let's go again.
Weeks ago, you were doing an interview and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, you know, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One.
Yeah, that's the closest place to heaven you getting is flying in your private jets or flying in the Air Force One. That is the closest that Donald Trump is going to go to heaven. Like he has like South Park. Let me tell y'all, listen, South Park got it right. South Park got it right. You know, this is supposed to be a Christian nationalist, by the way. This Christian nationalist, he playing around with not going to heaven. I thought the Christian nationalist supposed to go to heaven. So I know MAGA is going to be upset. They're real upset. You know, they're starting to join in. Listen, I didn't say this. Your president said it. Like, hear it again. He's not going to heaven. I agree with your president. He said it.
Doing an interview and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, you know, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay,
I don't either.
I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but I've made life a lot better for a lot of people. And, you know.
Yeah, he going to go right where Joe Biden going, the belly of hell. Joe Biden going to hell too. Yeah, he's going to. You know, Joe Biden might go before Trump, though. Joe Biden might go just a little bit before Trump. Oh, Weekend at Bernie's might go before Trump. But Trump, yeah, he on his way. He on his way to hellfire. It's coming. South Park got it right. He is in bed with the devil, and it is what it is. Now, with all that being said, why is this your take, Nubreed? Well, let's go to it. Now, before we talk about the SNAP benefits, because that's where we're going next, I want to make this clear. I want to put this in context. The biggest welfare recipients, SNAP recipients, are Caucasian people. That's a fact. And so right here, this has nothing to do with race. The biggest welfare recipients and SNAP benefit recipients are Caucasian people. You can give the per capita argument if you want to. Makes no difference. Because it still expeditiously affects them more. Why? Because it's more of them. So it doesn't matter. You can go through percentages. It's still ultimately cutting SNAP affects white people more than anybody. That's the truth. It affects them more than anybody. So I don't know how MAGA feels about this, but I think this is a travesty. I think we're living in a country where the rich continue to get richer, the poor gets poorer, and there's no relief for the poor. That's what it looks like to me. Right? Let's go.
Western New York reported on changes coming to SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, and how it could impact Western New York. Well, now it looks like the impact will be felt sooner than expected. The changes come from the so-called Big Beautiful Bill Act that passed Congress and was signed by President Trump, which institutes stricter work requirements to get food assistance, also some paperwork that didn't have to happen before. It's something Republicans say has broad support and will deal with fraud, waste, and abuse. We thought that New York would have until March to start enforcing the work requirement, but now it looks like that could be in November. Democratic Congressman Tim Kennedy reacting to that earlier today.
Their gutting of nutritional assistance benefits is about to run out at the end of this month. Both SNAP benefits, supplemental nutritional assistance program benefits that people depend on to put food on their table, as well as WIC benefits, the women, infant, and children benefits, that is already on life support.
Yo, the Bible talks about this. You know, the Bible talks about what happens to a land when you don't take care of the poor and needy or the widows. And it's not going to look good, man. This is going to be like the fall of ancient Rome all over again, you know? And this is a very sad time in history where people lose the human side, you know, the humility. Some call it humility, you know? Something called humility. They got rid of the food stamps, the actual paper food stamps, because people were committing fraud. But cutting WIC for mothers and actual SNAP using the EBT card and all of that, y'all got to admit, that's kind of low. That's low. That's low. But let's run this back, because I'm going to chime in on this.
Like the impact will be felt sooner than expected. The changes come from the so-called Big Beautiful Bill Act that passed Congress and was signed by President Trump, which institutes stricter
Trump getting rid of people's stamps.
Work requirements to get food assistance, also some paperwork that didn't have to happen before. It's something Republicans say has broad support and will deal with.
I don't care if you black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, whatever the case is. You got to admit, this is wrong. This is wrong. Even though this affects Caucasian people more than anybody, this is wrong, because you're living in a country where we're spending trillions of dollars on AI. It's evil. That's why Trump said he's not going to heaven. Under his big, beautiful bill, he just edged out the poor of our country. He definitely not going to heaven. This is called an unrighteous decree. Let's go.
Fraud, waste, and abuse. We thought that New York would have until March to start enforcing the work requirement, but now it looks like that could be in November. Democratic Congressman Tim Kennedy reacting to that earlier today.
Their gutting of nutritional assistance benefits is about to run out at the end of this month. Both SNAP benefits, supplemental nutritional assistance program benefits that people depend on to put food on their table, as well as WIC benefits, the women, infant, and children benefits, that is already on life support. People are going to have difficulty putting food on their table in our community and across this nation.
Colin Bishop is Chief Communications Officer for Feed More Western New York, and he's joining us live here tonight. I apologize. We can go ahead and take the shot, guys. I'll explain what's going on, because we've got, I have the wrong graphic in behind me, Gigi's, which we talked about yesterday. We're going to switch that in just a second. But Colin, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
You too, Michael.
So walk me through why this change is happening right now, because we thought, and this is significant because the timing matters, right? Organizations like Feed More Western New York thought you had more time to deal with this.
You know, it's crazy because people will say, you know, these poor people need to just get off their ASS and go get a job, right? That's what people say. They're so insensitive. Well, here's the issue. The country doesn't have the jobs. Because your jobs are being given to AI. Do you know how many people are losing jobs as we speak because of the government shutdown? There are no jobs, people. Do you know how close we are to civil unrest boiling over in this country? You're going to tell these people to go get a job that they have no access to. See, this is what a country imploding looks like. So, you know, this is real nasty work, real nasty work.
Households who rely on the benefits thought they had more time.
Correct. And so the way that SNAP programs work, federal government provides money to the state, and the state doles it out to the counties, and the county social services department handle everybody in the community who receives those SNAP benefits. So the state just learned this month that that waiver you mentioned was expiring early. And now the social service departments around the state are busy notifying all the clients in their communities that if they are one of these able-bodied adults without dependents who need to now meet these new work requirements, that they are going to have some new requirements involved in receiving benefits.
I know organizations like Feed More have expressed concern with the work requirements because the polling shows, I mean, a lot of Americans believe that you should, be able to prove that you're working in order to.
See, this is an oxymoron. It puts people in a real conundrum because you have to prove that you're working to get SNAP. At least that's what they're trying to do. Right now, they just cut it. And when I mean cut it, I mean just took it out altogether for the month of November so they can go ahead and put this new system in place, which it's a contradiction in itself, because if the person has the job, then they would be in less need of the SNAP, right? The people who are without a job would need the SNAP benefits more. So this is quite interesting, man. Like, it doesn't take a rocket science to see that they're just starving out the poor. I mean, when Trump came in office, he talked about a homeless relocation plan. This country don't give a damn about the poor. We don't know where they relocating them to. You had a Fox News correspondent get on record and say that homeless people should get the lethal injection, and he still kept his job. Literally, he said this on air, that homeless people should get legal lethal injection. So this is what this country is about: ethnic purging and also getting rid of the poor. It should be clear at this point. Let's go.
Get these benefits. What are the concerns that you have with that and the impact it could have on people?
So I think what's important to know about SNAP, first off, is, it stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's supplemental. It was never meant to be the sole way that everybody gets the food that they need. So it's designed to help provide assistance to people who need a little bit of nutritional assistance every month. That's the similar work that we do at Feed More.
So at Feed More, this particular organization here, they're just trying to supplement those who only need a little something extra. But what about people who don't have a job, though? What about people who don't have no job? See, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell y'all. Some of y'all may be new to the platform. Thank you for coming through, sticking around, hearing what I got to say. But let me say this. We got to become more agricultural. We got to start developing our own farmlands. We got to start networking with people who are into community building. We got to start getting with our own livestock. We really starting to think about homesteads in America. That's the direction that we should be taking. We should be considering all avenues in which we can be financially free. Because I can tell you this right now, as a businessman, a business owner, I have 3 businesses. I own 3 businesses. And as a business owner, I'm telling you right now, there's money out here. I recently got a new business. There's money out here. And you can be financially free. You just need the information. And you got to network with people who really can grant you certain opportunities and really do your research out here. Because this economy is going a whole nother direction. And if you are not catching on to the wave, you would be left out in the dark. You'll be left out in the dark. But anyway, let's continue.
Our mission is, and the work we do through the food bank and the partner agencies that we have, soup kitchens, food pantries, we're supplemental. We're hopefully not providing all of the nutritional assistance that people need, but SNAP is that first line of defense. So when somebody or a family, an individual, a veteran, whoever it is, receives SNAP benefits, hopefully that's keeping them out of the pantry, out of the food bank network. When those benefits go down, or if they don't qualify for it, that puts more of a strain on our network and the pantry system.
Well, and already you've been prepared.
Somebody in the chat said you said it wasn't no money. That's not what I said. I said there wasn't no jobs. Didn't say it wasn't no money. There's plenty of money out here, but there's not many jobs. See, they still want to pigeonhole people into their thought process, their hamster in a wheel process. I'm not telling you it's wrong to have a job, but I'm telling you there's money out here to be made that a lot of people don't even know exist, with people that they don't know exist. And I'm talking about legal money. The currency is still flowing. It's just flowing in a whole nother direction that the general public is not being educated on. That's what I'm saying. And some of you all out there, for having closed minds, will miss the real transfer of wealth that's taking place. But those who know, they're going to grow. And the future is for those who prepare for it. But anyway, let's go.
To have to help people more for myriad reasons, right? Food costs are still going up. The economy sort of is what it is. How much does this sort of catching everybody off guard complicate all of that?
Yeah, it's coming at a rough time.
It's coming at the roughest time, and everybody's being caught off guard. People are losing jobs left and right. So many government jobs, so many federal jobs. I mean, regular warehouse jobs are being cut because they're replacing those with AI. They're replacing that with artificial intelligence machinery. That's what's happening. So better believe, man, yo, it's going down. It's going down in Babylon. But let's go.
We're already seeing, anecdotally, an increase in people coming to food pantries this month alone, because we know that there are federal government employees who are not receiving paychecks, who are on furlough. So the need in the community is already growing this month. I don't have numbers on that. It's too soon to know, but we've heard from partner agencies already saying, this month alone is up 15-20% more than it was last month. That's one or two that we're hearing from. When we get more of that information in the coming weeks for the remainder.
I mean, we've been warning the people. I've been warning the people for years now. Listen, I warned y'all when they started doing this mass deportation thing that we were going to get less food, because why? You don't have people planting. They got rid of a lot of farmers. They didn't show up to work to till the soil and tend to the farms. When they did this mass deportation, it hurt. And I told y'all that. Y'all didn't want to believe me. Now they got this damn 3D food out here. But now, look, I said, look, Project 2025, this big, beautiful bill is going to hurt a lot of people. Not just black folks either. Because, people don't care about black folks. These black folks don't care about black folks. They like, you niggas need to go get a job. Using a white man's SNAP benefits. Go out there and go get you a 9 to 5, you lazy big lip hooligans. See, y'all, that's how a lot of black folks was even talking like that. But no, it's affecting the whole America. Just like when they start going to DC with the military in Chicago, that was all good till they start going to Milwaukee. It's all good till they start going to Milwaukee. It was all good till they start pulling up in Yoset in middle America somewhere. Yeah. Using all the white man's SNAP benefits. How dare you use the white man's welfare check? Just because y'all built the country don't mean y'all deserve to have any stamps. Go get a job. That's how people was talking, even our own people. I'm telling you. Somebody said, bro, that impersonation is on point, man. There's a lot of talent over here, man. Somebody said, world is changing. It is. And guess what? Only the strong gonna survive. Y'all remember Trump actually said that. Trump said, yeah, only the strong gonna survive with my presidency. And he was right. He was right. Yo, my chat is lit. My chat always lit. So if you're new to the channel, this is what you can expect over here. You know, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Double tap the screen for the likes. And let's get to it.
Of this month, we'll have a better picture of what that toll was like on the charitable food network here. But now we're going to potentially add in people who are losing or having less SNAP dollars, the potential that, if this goes on, that there are no SNAP dollars allocated to anyone in the month of November. It could be a lot of additional people in need of nutritional assistance in the month of November.
Finally, what would just be your advice to someone who's watching who is used to getting SNAP benefits, maybe who falls into that category? And again, we want to be clear to everybody, it's not like everyone who gets SNAP is all of a sudden going to lose them. This is people who don't qualify under the new rules. But what should they be thinking about right now?
Sure. So anybody who's impacted by this change for the work requirements, they'll be contacted by
And this is specifically in New York, by the way. This is in Western New York that they're passing this particular bill. We have to also evaluate another source on this SNAP. But I just wanted to point to what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up a system where you have to go through hurdles and you got to go through hula hoops and just to get some SNAP benefits, right? So just know what they're trying to do. Eventually, when they set up this digital currency, they're going to be giving people monthly siphons anyway, eventually. That's what it's going to come to. That's why we got to, if we pour out here, listen, a bunch of people, 100 people who's making minimum wage who come together and do what they need to do, guess what? That's what the government afraid of. That's what they really afraid of. 100 people who barely scraping by, if they come together, they're strong. And the way they're doing these things, they're going to force us to come together. Everybody got to gravitate towards their tribe. That's how it's going to have to go, bro, because they're putting it out there how they moving.
Social Services Department, they'll be notified about what they need to do and any immediate impact. Anybody who is receiving SNAP and is worried that there may not be money in the month of November, know that Feed More Western New York and our partner agencies are here to help you and support you. If you lose your SNAP dollars in the month of November, we have resources on our website to help you find food assistance, look for the different ways that you can find a pantry or other nutritional assistance near you. So feedmorewny.org, find food. And for the rest of the community who may be hearing this and realize that there is an increased need potentially in the month of November and want to help, our website.
You know what's crazy? It seemed like all this stuff has always happened around their holidays. They don't even respect their holidays no more. They don't respect the Thanksgivings. They don't respect the Christmas holiday. I told y'all stop celebrating that stuff. It's pagan, But they don't care about families not being able to put that dry turkey on the table. They don't care no more. They don't care about you being able to buy your kids Christmas gifts. Last year, something happened around Christmas. Last year, something happened where people lost a bunch of jobs and money was being held around Christmas time. These people don't care. Which, of course, I don't celebrate none of them holidays. I don't promote none of the holidays. They're pagan. But they don't even respect it because they know this country coming to an end. Where every time it's around the holiday season, something take place where people got to go to food pantries. And it's affecting people everywhere, man. Pennsylvania got hit real crazy with these SNAP benefits getting cut. A lot of the major cities, a lot of the cities going to really deal with it. Like people in the country areas and the rural areas that have some type of barter system, some trading system, got some vegetables, got a little garden in their backyard. When this stuff hits the fan, those are the people that's going to be squared away. Now, I'm not just talking. This is what was happening.
And shutdown continues. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced a hold on SNAP benefits for the month of November. Fox 43's Matt Kleindenz looks at how many families could be impacted by the funding delay.
Food banks across the region are staying prepared as the government shutdown threatens to affect food assistance programs.
Food is really just such a fundamental thing for life.
This week, the U.S. Department of Agriculture sent a letter ordering state governments to hold all November SNAP payments as the government shutdown continues into its third week. The announcement would prevent $366 million from entering the Commonwealth and affect nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians.
That's bad, man. 2 million people being affected, not having to be able to put food on their table for a month, man, that's a bad look.
$6 million from entering the Commonwealth and affect nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians.
A missed benefit payment even by a week or two would have ripple effects that they would have to find a way to make up for.
Zach Zook with the Central PA Food Bank says the increase could bring more traffic to food pantries in their service area. He adds the government shutdown comes amid a growing trend of food insecurity across the region.
In the last 2 years alone, food insecurity has increased by 44% in central Pennsylvania and by 40% in the state of Pennsylvania, and that matches increases seen nationally.
In a statement, the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services placed the blame on congressional Republicans for the pause in SNAP payments, saying, quote, Congress has the ability to prevent the harm this will cause to Pennsylvania families and small businesses, and we urge Republicans in Congress to reopen the government and protect vulnerable Pennsylvania.
And we urge Republicans in Congress to reopen the government and protect vulnerable Pennsylvanians at risk because of this inaction. Listen, I know that people been blaming Republicans, people been blaming Democrats. Listen, the whole system is the problem. When the government gets shut down in a bipartisan system, it's the whole entire government. Why? Because it's not about a shutdown, it's about a reset. Right now, we're going through a reset in America. So Democrats and Republicans, they all in on it, straight up.
At risk because of this inaction. The Central PA Food Bank says their warehouses will continue supporting its local pantries and families in need through the duration of the shutdown.
Everyone who needs food assistance is welcome to visit one of our...
I really don't believe anybody is out here really jugging the system like that with food stamps. I don't believe that. I don't think people are committing fraud to get food stamps. I don't know how they would do that. How are they committing fraud? They don't have the paper food stamps where you can go sell your stamps and trade them. I don't believe that. I believe that Americans need it. Groceries are expensive as hell. Gas is expensive as hell. The price of living is expensive as hell. All of the utility companies are jugging and finessing its customers. People are struggling and fighting every day. Fighting to survive. They're not jugging. Nobody's committing fraud against food stamps. That's BS. I don't believe none of that. And this is coming from somebody who knows that majority of people who receive these SNAP benefits are white people. But all the Uncle Ruckus is out there. Anytime black people get anything, you niggas need a job. Y'all out here scamming. You frauding the system. Every time we receiving anything, any support, any help, y'all just frauding the system. No good, do good. Niggas, go get a job. Wow, that's how they want us to look. That's how they want us to look. Every time Every time we're receiving something, we're scamming. Yo, thank you, Carrot Music. I appreciate the support. Says thank you.
Our partner food pantries across our service territory.
Matt Kleindens, Fox 43 News.
Yep. Now we on day 17 of the government shutdown. We got to talk about that. We on day 17 of the government reset. Day 17 of the government reset.
Well, today marks day 17 of the government shutdown with no end or compromise in sight. Lawmakers say more layoffs are imminent and neither side appears to budge, that is, with a budget. Naomi Ruckham tells us what's next in the push to end the shutdown and how it's impacting everyday Americans.
After another failed vote on Thursday, the Senate has adjourned for the weekend, pushing the government shutdown into yet another week.
I trust no Republican's word as long as Donald Trump is saying that he refuses to extend the health care tax subsidies.
It would take just a handful of Democrats to reopen the government.
In the midst of a blame game in Washington, Americans who are employed by the federal government are feeling the impact of lost paychecks. In Salt Lake City, the city and airport officials have teamed up to open a food pantry to support federal employees from several agencies who still have to show up for work without pay. The service offers free food, toiletries, home goods, gas, and gift cards.
People got to pay the rent. They got to put, pay their car insurance and everything else that goes with it.
At Beale Air Force Base outside Sacramento, a local nonprofit is asking local grocery stores to offer discounts to civilians and military members who are not getting paid or are uncertain about future paychecks.
Hopefully that will just alleviate the uncertainty and help them be able to sleep a little bit better at night and still, be ready for work.
For now, law enforcement officers from the Department of Homeland Security and Border Patrol agents have been promised pay during the shutdown.
So look, even Border Patrol, well, the Border Patrol and them, they're gonna get paid. So only military, they're incentivizing the militants. Everybody else, see, they're trying to, hey, the Bible says the love of many have waxed cold, right? ICE. That's what that is. They want everybody working for ICE. They want everybody to be, they want a militarized citizenship. They want man, this is wild, bro. They want a prison industrial complex. They want America to be a prison industrial complex where you have to beg for food from these people. Did y'all hear what I just said? They want a prison industrial complex where you have to beg for food. It's sad. Ain't nobody seeing this. Jody Breeze, thank you for the support. Says, how long do you think the government will be shut down? This shutdown or reset seems different. It is very different. The government has never been shut down this long, and there's never been so many changes and so many people have losing jobs during this shutdown. This has never occurred, but this is what we've been talking about. One thing is for sure, two things is for certain. Once the government is back up, so to speak, all of the changes that they wanted to make is already going to be put in place. So it can be indefinite. And here's a little bit of here's a little caveat I'm gonna drop on y'all. The government been went rogue. They been went rogue. And what I mean by that is, what is your government really doing for you anyway? Is it really a government? Are they governing? Are they upholding the Constitution? The so-called government, are they upholding the Constitution? Or have they went rogue and militarized? Are they tyranny tiptoeing? Are they its own establishment? Because the government's supposed to serve the people. It's supposed to serve the people. Our taxpayer dollars, they're supposed to work for us. Or are we working for it? Is the government working for us, or are we working for it as a whole? Just something to consider. That thing went rogue, man.
Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Let's go to Fox News for all the MAGA supporters. Let's go there. Day 17 of the government shutdown. Oh, my bad. I shared the wrong screen. Hold up. One moment. All right. Let me make sure this is correct. I got too many tabs open right now. Need to shut some of these down. All right. Yeah, that is it.
Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill here on Fox 5. We are entering the fourth week of the government shutdown. It's been 19 days in total, and Democrats and Republicans do not seem to be anywhere close to finding a resolution to this dispute. Health care is the main sticking point. Both sides continue to blame each other, leaving the federal workers in the middle of this battle. We want to...
A land divided can't stand. That's the Bible. Bible say a house divided can't stand. Let's continue. And double tap your screen, get the likes up, because they playing games with this video. Our audience retention rate been crazy this live stream. We've kept people locked in at 1,1600 on the vertical stream, and they haven't pushed the numbers up. So y'all got to double tap. Y'all got to engage, because, you know, it's at the rate that we have been keeping people viewing who just scrolling YouTube, it should be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people watching. Right? Just for the record. But, you know, when you saying certain things, certain keywords, y'all know how these algorithms go. Y'all know how these algorithms go. But nonetheless, let's continue.
Welcome back in. Maryland Democratic Congresswoman Sarah Elfreth this morning. Congresswoman, it's good to see you. I've seen you at some of these news events that you've done as this has gone on. We wanted to talk to you about where we're at in both sides talking to each other. And I know when you say the word sometimes both sides, people, you know, Democrat or Republican rear up about that and say, you know, this is not about both sides, it's them or them. But are there talks going on? Is there any discussion that would actually lead to some type of resolution here?
Unfortunately, Tom, not on the House side. As you probably know, Speaker Johnson sent us.
So the government finna be shut down indefinitely. And I'm going to tell y'all, while this government shutdown going, I'm going to just give y'all a quick little story about, first off, watch out for scammers. Watch out for scammers during this shutdown, because people are going to be scamming a whole, like, listen, scamming is an epidemic already in Atlanta, where I reside. I don't live in Atlanta, but I live in Georgia, not far from Atlanta. Look out for scamming, bro. Just look out, y'all. Couple weeks ago, while I was, a couple weeks ago, it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, I had my whole bank account cleared. I mean, I got it back, but I have no idea how it happened. Literally, I don't just be doing frivolous, stupid stuff on the internet or buying stuff. Literally, different insurance agencies drained my account, and it happened right on the day of the government shutdown. It was like the next day of the government shutdown. I'm talking about different insurance companies I don't have. Geico, State Farm, this insurance, that insurance. Literally, I mean, they were just taking money out of my account all day. The banks didn't even do nothing. I had to wait almost a week for them to give me what I've earned back, my savings. Of course, I switched banks and all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is, bro, listen, during this government shutdown, you got to be on point. You got to be on point. And what it boiled down to, after everything is investigated, guess what it boiled down to, y'all? I'm paying a bill with my insurance company enrolled in automatic bill pay, giving the person the card information. They go give it to one of their scammer buddies. It's simple as that. They go give your information to their scammer buddy. You live in a country where it's not safe paying your bills over the phone. Like, we got to go back to writing checks, y'all. Yeah, no, I've already done that. I already got my money back and I withdrew my funds and moved it. And I've never put all my funds in one place anyway. Not saying I'm over here rich or nothing like that. You'll say all his funds, like, damn, was he a millionaire? No, I'm not that. But I'm saying you never put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? But that happened to me about a week ago. Happened to me not too long ago at all. And it was wild. Imagine you going to pay a bill. You call your bank, you going to pay a bill. And you know you got a certain amount, but that don't tell you got $30. Imagine that. So, yeah, during this shutdown, I've even felt the blow, because the bank couldn't even catch on. Like the fraud alert, it's like they was gone. It's like whatever algorithm they had, it went on vacation. They went on vacation. So I'm saying, man, like, it's getting crazy out here. Somebody said, do you auto pay ? They are getting into bank accounts now. That's what I'm saying. I did an auto pay. I set up auto pay for an insurance agency. Whoever took the auto pay information, they went and sold that information to scammers, their little scammer buddies. And what ended up happening is different insurance companies were just cleaning my account out. And the bank, since it was the government shutdown, they didn't catch it. That happened to me like maybe 6-7 days ago. And I'm telling y'all this because it's wild out here right now. Yep. Listen, I'm at the point, I don't like the automatic. I don't like all of that. At this point, I'd rather write a check. I'd rather pull up to my local location where I can go pay in person for a bill, like it used to be, like back in the days. Yep. Yeah, somebody said they do sell information. Yes, they do. And if your bank ain't on point, like something like a government shutdown, they on it. Telling you.
Home, over a month ago, and we are now scattered across the country. I fortunately live, right down the street from Washington, so I am there 3 days a week, trying to talk to my Republican colleagues who have shown up to do their jobs in Washington, but we can't possibly reach a bipartisan budget deal, which the American people expect of us.
And that's another way you can go about it to avoid that. Somebody said you can pay, they said you can pay using what? PayPal, or you could just use a Cashapp card, or have a specific card that has a certain amount that's just designated for your bills. That's the idea. Your personal account, your savings, you know what I'm saying? You don't link that to bill pay. You have your separate account that say, look, this is the card I use to pay bills. I keep this amount of money in this account. And then you let them, and if you are going to set up automatic bill pay for certain things, everything be on that one card that only has a certain amount, because these people do be scamming, y'all. They be scamming. Straight up.
Also doesn't put the risk at risk, the health care of 20 million Americans if we're physically not in the same place. And so the first step has to be Speaker Johnson calling us all back to Washington to start this negotiation. That's what the American people expect of us, and that's what I plan to do.
The Speaker's point is that the House did pass its spending bill, and that this is in the Senate right now, and the Senate is again going to vote tomorrow on this. That is expected to fail once again. Republicans have been saying, we will talk to you about the expiring Obamacare tax credits if you vote for the spending bill. Do Democrats take Republicans at their word that negotiation?
Two wings of the same dirty ass bird. Two wings of the same crusty, musty eagle. Democrats, Republicans, that's why real people of the truth intelligence community, we not choosing Democrat or Republican. We don't care. They all are at a stalemate right now. Why? Why they at a stalemate? Because they're all in agreement with this reset. That's why. They can't play us with this nonsense. Let's go.
Would ever happen if you were to vote for that spending bill?
It's really hard to believe, Tom. I'm an optimistic person by nature. I couldn't be in this business or line of work if I weren't an optimist. But at the same time, we have known that these tax credits are expiring at the end of this year for quite a while. And we knew we were running out of money on September 30th since March. We should have gotten down to these negotiations over the summertime. Instead, and this is a number that should shock everybody at home, of the last 100 days, the House has only been in session 19. Can you imagine showing up to work, Tom, for 19 days of the last 100 days and still getting paid? This is nonsense. It's foolishness, and the Speaker needs to call us back. Even though we can't pass this prologue, we can't change what did not occur, the negotiations over the summertime, but we have an obligation to be the adults in the room and come back to Washington and get this deal done.
But if this is about the spending package, does the spending package itself pass muster with the Democrats? Could you vote on the spending bill itself if there was an opportunity to talk about these tax credits at a later time?
The spending bill itself is not something I love. There's a lot of bad things in that spending bill. But at the same time, if there is a real commitment,
they're going to spend all the money on AI.
To get this thing done, to actually come to the table.
No Medicare, no food for the needy and poor. No jobs. It's all going to be on the new industrial revolution we about to have, and that's artificial intelligence. And they're going to bring in the Antichrist artificial intelligence beast system.
Earnestly and honestly talk about healthcare, including the largest cut to Medicaid in the United States history that occurred in July that we have to fix. We are trying to prevent really bad things from happening. We're trying to prevent the fact that many Americans received a notice of their premiums increasing, in many cases skyrocketingly, on January 1st.
Yeah, the premiums are skyrocketing, and people can't afford that. Talking about the medical premiums. Them Jones is getting crazy. Let's go.
It will be too late to negotiate those tax credits in December. We have to come back to Washington now.
All right, we want to talk more about the impact on the federal.
See, even her bringing up December, man, this joint could be shut down all the way to December while more jobs are being cut. Imagine food stamps on hold to December right now with a single mother right now who got 2 children, 3 children, 4 children that got to eat, bro. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. What are we, a damn third world country? You know how much food gets thrown away? Have y'all ever been to a grocery store when that joint? Have you ever worked at a grocery store? Have you ever seen a fast food joint when it's time to close? You know how much food gets thrown away? It's so much food that gets thrown away in America. You can feed this country 20 times. You can feed this country 20 times over, bro. There's something extremely wicked when you live in a society that is charging you for the bare necessities, bro. Food and water should be free. What kind of world do we live in where these people believe they can facilitate, necessities? They waste the food. What I'm talking about is not rocket science, y'all. Listen, my take on this is not something that, a Democrat or Republican can disagree with. This is just common sense. Just common sense. But nonetheless, y'all already know, man. Bless y'all. If y'all want to support my show, support me via Cash App. Right there is the Cash App. The QR code actually works. So if you scan it, show some support for what I put out. And also, If you want something in exchange for your support, I do have a website, nubreedglobaltruth.com. Go over there and show your support and get you some of the fly gear I got. Get you some organic oils, soaps, deodorants, toothpaste. We got that over there too. So, support the website, support the truth. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for